Good morning. Today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how to email your professors. You may be thinking, but I already know how to do that. And in some ways, you're right. You probably do know how to create emails and address them to your professors. What I want to talk to you about, though, is how to write an email that impresses your professors. So let's take a look at a well written email. If you look at this email, you're going to notice a couple of important things. First, it uses an official university email address. I know that because the university servers have changed the email address to show the person's name. This is important. Don't email your professor with your Gmail account, especially if it's some cutesy email address like PokemonGo1513 at gmail.com. Your professor won't know who's emailing. Second, the subject line identifies the course and gives a brief reason for the email. Third, the email has a nice salutation. A helpful hint here. In a university setting, you're probably never going to annoy anyone if you call them doctor, though some of your professors may not have earned that degree. You're always going to be safe with professor. Do not use first names or Mr. or worse, Mrs. And please don't start with just hey. Fourth, this email is fairly succinct. The student explains what class he's in, what he's asking, and why normal office hours don't work. And importantly, the student uses an appropriate tone that shows that he understands that he's asking for something above and beyond what's customary. That matters a lot to professors. Fifth, the email uses correct grammar and punctuation. Now, the occasional typo won't bother people too much, but repeated and obvious refusal to use grammar and proper punctuation will frustrate your professors. Finally, there's an appropriate signature. Pretty easy, right? But let's look at some examples of bad emails. They're far more common than you might think. This one breaks pretty much all of the rules, right? It's from a Gmail account. The tone of the subject line is inappropriate. It does not identify the course. It doesn't give any real reason for the email. The salutation is terrible. The body of the email doesn't use punctuation and grammar appropriately. The tone is off putting. The student seems to think he has a right to demand that the professor meet with him whenever the student wants. And there's no signature. This email, if it were sent to me, would get filed right into the trash. Let's look at another example. This one's a little bit of a special case. Occasionally, you will need to email your professors to let them know that you're missing class. As you can see, this email does get some things right. It's from an LR email account. The subject line and the signature are appropriate. And it's punctuated correctly. But there are some things it gets wrong, too. Miss O'Brien worked really hard to get to her current position, and she won't appreciate being addressed as though that's not the case. Professor O'Brien would be much better here. The body of the email provides way too much information. Finally, the last question, will I miss anything important, will frustrate your professors. It implies that there are days when nothing important happens in class. Of course you'll miss something important. Here's an example of how you might handle that a little bit better. Note here, the salutation is much better. And note that while the student has let the professor know that he's ill, he has spared the gory details. A helpful hint here, if you do miss class for something inappropriate, say a trip to the lake, just don't give an explanation. Finally, the student does a nice job of showing that he's working to catch up, but also wants to make sure that if there's work he can make up, that he has a chance to do so. You shouldn't expect, of course, that your professors will always allow you to do that. And now let's look at one more. This one seems to be pretty good, right? Here's the problem. Look at what time the email was sent. When you realize that Professor O'Brien's class begins at 11 o'clock, you'll see the problem. This is especially frustrating when emails come in at 3 o'clock in the morning about an assignment that's due at 8 o'clock. Most of your professors will try to respond to email promptly, but you have a responsibility to give them a reasonable amount of time. For most professors, that's at least 24 hours during the week or 48 hours over the weekend. Some may give you different guidelines. So, to sum up, treat your emails to professors as professional communication. You should get into that habit as employers will expect it. Use a professional email address, offer a helpful subject line, provide an appropriate salutation. Be succinct, keep the tone appropriate, and close with an appropriate signature. Getting into that habit will help you out more than you probably realize.